Welcome back to the channel, people. KG is back, and we're back the day after the defeat against Burnley, talking Leeds United, talking Daniel Farke, and just things that are on your mind. I'll say some things that are on my mind, but I'm interested to get your thoughts on things, just from things in the comments left yesterday after the result. Obviously, it's a day later. Some people are calmed down or had a bit more reflection, but I want to get your thoughts on what's going on right now at Leeds United on this fine Sunday morning, as it would be. And listen, morning, afternoon, night, whoever you are around the world. Listen, people, like the video, subscribe to the channel, of course, drop your comments below. Thank you to William Morrison for the super thanks yesterday on the video. Much appreciated. Thank you to Andrew, who's become a member of the channel. Big up and salute to all my members. If you want to become a member, the link is in the description. Morning, people, man. Morning, Chris. Morning, JR Racer. Yeah, man, listen, we're going to speak about Farke, and I'm going to try and be fair. I am going to try and be fair, but I can't ignore the glaring things that we're seeing over and over and over again. And yes, the title on the thumbnail is Same Old Brand New You. If you're thinking, where have I heard that from? It's A1, okay? I got it from an A1 song, you know. Another night, another day. What can I say? You know, you're still the same old brand new you, because it just feels like things are still the same. And I'll go into reasons why I've said that in the title. And you know, I'm a boy band fan. You know how it goes. Sean in the house saying, wow, KJ, I could be a Farke outcry right now. Well, look, let's talk. Let's talk. Okay. Listen, I'm doing this now because I want to watch the North London derby. That's one of my favorite derbies in the world to watch. Always spicy. I know a lot of Arsenal and Tottenham fans, so it's always interesting for me. I've got like a vested, like a little sick interest in there. You know what I mean? This lovely rainy morning, Chris. I'm an autumn winter guy. That's me. I don't like the sun. I don't like the hot weather. Miss me with that. I'm a Christmas man. Hallmark movies. Let's go. You know, one of those. Gavin saying classical singer. Yeah. Annabelle in the house saying morning. In answer to your question, it seems not. Well, let's get into it, people. LUFC Data put this out yesterday, and we've got a few things to have a look at today. In terms of this LUFC data, you know, as follows: Leeds were unbeaten in their first 23 matches across all competitions at Ellen Road in Daniel Farke's first season, which was brilliant. But we've now suffered 2 defeats in our first home games in this second campaign, and he's including the Middlesbrough Cup game in that one, just to, you know, malaise any confusion there. And that's now 4 losses for Leeds in our last 7 competitive matches at Ellen Road, and that sucks. That's a bad stat to have. And I know, and the thing is, I know some people think it's harsh that we're going on to last season, but I've already said I'm measuring it from last season. It's a hangover, because I expect the manager to have looked at where we went wrong, like Angus Kinnear said in that Square Ball interview when he was asked why did it go wrong after Easter. I would expect him to look at that and say, all right, well, we can't do this again. This can't happen again. But we saw that game, people, yesterday. I think we've seen it about 25 times already. Seen it over and over and over again. It's like Groundhog Day watching our team sometimes. It's like different players are playing the roles, but it's the same movie over and over. Gavin saying it's simple. He's stale. Gavin, I should have known. He's stale and living off Norwich City. Sai in the house. Shout out to you, Sai. Morning, KJ. My question still stands. I think it's 4 win from the last 14. It is, Sai. It is. That is a fact. And Josh here saying he's a German Southgate. And this is the thing. When Scott Parker was appointed by Burnley, I remember a few of you saying, Scott Parker, but I said at the time, we have got the German Scott Parker. And I'm probably, and I remember saying this as well, we're probably being harsh to Scott Parker. and this isn't being horrible to Daniel Farke. I want him to succeed. Let me make this clear, because if he succeeds, it means we're succeeding. It means we're not falling behind the top 2 pack. It means we're in the conversation to go up in the top 2. But if he's not getting the job done, then we have to have that conversation. It has to. I didn't have the conversation in the summer because the 49ers backed him. The 49ers were saying this is their guy. But we all know, and the 49ers know in particular, we cannot be in this division next season. If we are, we're going to be stuck here. And I'm not usually one to say that, but we can already see it. The teams that will come down have already got championship ready players that will probably stay at their football clubs for the most part, and will go back up again the next year. Meanwhile, we're getting rid of the better players that we've got now in order to get in subpar players. And if that happens, we're done for. And I'm going to have a real hard time on this channel. You know what I mean? Dave here saying, KG, other fans and managers are looking at us and laughing because we have a readable manager. Yes, Scott Parker out tactically beaten yesterday, and it's not the first time. And the thing is, it's not hard. I'm afraid it's not hard. When I've said, and even Angus Kinnear backed this up. Not he didn't go into the detail that I said, but he said last year we relied on two players. We were reliant on Somerville and Jorginho. That was the plan when things got tough, when we couldn't break people down. It was like, Jorginho, okay, you've lost the ball 12 times trying to break through. It worked on the 13th. Somerville, you're going to curl it in the bottom corner. That was the plan. And when I said that, people thought I was being harsh, but proof is in the pudding. Even our own CEO says it on a public forum where it has no benefit for him to say something like that. So, in terms of this as well, other fans and managers, well, I'll go one further for you, Dave. I don't know if everyone's seen this already, but Jeremy Sarmiento, who's currently on loan at Burnley, who came on a sub yesterday, had this to say on social media: put in the L in Ellen Road. Put in the L in Ellen Road. Now, there's no tick on this, so I thought, it's one of these like incel accounts that pretend to be a footballer. So I mosey on over to IG and see a verified Jeremy Sarmiento, and it says the exact same thing. All right, he is mocking it. And now this is what I say. And listen, let me just say this. Let me just say this. Please don't go on his page. And I can only advise you, I ain't your daddy. But don't give him like dog's abuse. If you want to banter him back, cool, because he's put it out there. But what I want from this football club is to not be the butt of the joke come the end of the season. I want us to go at the end of the season. We're one or two that go up, even if Burnley go up with us, and we can like bite back or something. Maybe we go to Turf Moor, turn them over, and we can return the favor. I know Wilson's got that in the locker on the official Leeds United accounts. He'll have something in the tuck. But we need our team to answer this on the pitch. For me, this isn't about fans going back at a player. This is about the team standing up and going one on one unbelievable run and saying, what was that about the Ellen Road? You know what I mean? Do your talking on the pitch. We're always going to get banned. That's just how it is. People, we're a big scalp. Even to Burnley, we're a big scalp, and this is proof of it. It's a big part, Deshaun. You know how it is. Liam Moore with the super chat. Thank you, Liam. Saying serious question need to be asked of Daniel Farke. Two defensive midfielders at home is ridiculous. The players seem scared to shoot around the box and just lay it off. Liam, excellent, and we'll move on to that, because just to highlight a couple of numbers. You know what I mean? I'm not a big numbers guy, but when he was talking yesterday, and I'm going from Daniel Farker's words yesterday, talking about the possession and everything else like that. This is where stats, if you don't watch the game, can mislead you, because 72 possession sounds like we was absolutely just hounding them. We was all over them and getting in between them. No, we weren't. 632 passes, and how many of them were side to side and backwards? That's how it is with the football club. 632 nothing passes on the whole. There weren't good passes. Burnley had more effect with their just over 250 than we had in over double that. All these stats are meaningless unless you win games. First of all, unless you win games. Forget all these XG, XA, XL stats. Unless you win the game, all of these things are meaningless. But when you're looking at it, if you're trying to gain positives from it, there were no positives. You know what I mean? Matt C saying here, let's not overreact to one defeat. Team still gelling. It's early days in the season, and there will be this viewpoint. And this is where I go with it. And I'm going with this because of what you guys were saying to me in the summer. You were saying I give it 10 games. I give it till Christmas. Some of you said Christmas, some of you 10 games. I've seen a few of you kind of change that now, where you're saying, I want him gone now. But the thing is, for me, Matt, and everyone else, is we've dropped points against Portsmouth where that should have been a banker. There are no bankers, but Ellen Road, first game back, we should be winning that game. We go to a West Brom and not lose. We don't go to try and win. We have 6 touches in their boxes. We just go there to not lose. The game before Middlesbrough, we got our cheeks blown out. We had changes in our team, but so did Middlesbrough. They did not have a full strength team, and they batter us 3-0 at the Holy Church of Ellen Road. Then we get this game. We've had a couple of wins in between, and that is cool. But it's about consistency. You have to have consistency in this division to finish in the top 2. Yeah, Jack saying it's just rinse and repeat from last season. We're easy to play against. Yeah, and this is it, Jack. If we just played more one-touch football, a la the goal against Portsmouth, our first goal against Portsmouth, where we don't allow the opposition to get back into place and get back into their deep blocks, we can kill teams in this division. But it's instruction from the manager, I'm afraid. We got caught offside. Let me just say this as well. And I'm going to again shoot bail on this one because it was Solomon for the most part. As he gets used to it, maybe he'll improve. But we got caught offside 6 times yesterday. Well, I mean, what does that tell you? Are we working on the transition when we're in training? Are we working on breaking defensive lines in training, or are we just hoping to get through that congested middle and hope for the best? Because it seemed like every time we did try and go out wide, someone was mile offside. I mean, Namto was way off. I mean, he scored a goal, but it was way off. You could see he was almost at Bradford Airport. So we have to fix a few things here. Daniel Farke has to fix a few things. When we're up, when we're in possession and getting hit on the counter like that is unacceptable. We was open at the back yesterday like a hospital gown. Like we cannot do that going forward against a team, especially with a player like Koleosho. He ran the length of Ellen Road and scored a goal. That's unacceptable, really. Um, yeah, yeah. Don't yeah, Ali saying, "Don't remind me of the offside from the Bogle throw-in." Yeah. Listen, let's just get a couple of things on Farke. This is only a few of his comments from after the game. Uh in terms of what he said yesterday, and I'll try and elaborate with a few things. So I did watch the video of him speaking. Adam Pope here, just summarizing it here. Farke encouraged by the performance against a promotion chasing side, but the result will hurt for a few days. Thankfully, Roden is okay, and all concussion protocols have been observed. Bamford's still not ready for the bench after 11 weeks away from team training. Needs to find match fitness. One thing I will say with that with Bamford, and this is no shade on this one. In all honesty, people won't believe it, but in order to get match fitness, you have to play in the matches. So if he had made himself available yesterday for like a 10-minute cameo, well, that's all you're getting under Farke. But you know, that helps. But sitting out game after game after game, it doesn't take off any of the ring rust, as the saying goes. No, he needs to play matches in order to get match fit. That's what it means. Scott saying here 17 shots and I only remember 2 chances and one of them wasn't created by us. Yeah, that's all it was. That's another thing. We only created 2 big chances yesterday. Two. You know, we created around 14, I think. Don't quote me on that. It's either 14 or 15, but we only created 2 big ones, which shows you that there's a problem there trying to break it down. Um, Let me just get rid of that one. Okay, yeah, yeah, I've got it here. Yeah, just to further your point, again from LUFC data, 14 chances created, 9 shots inside the box, but 2 big chances. That's not good enough, people. That's not. Dave, do we need to mention set pieces and corners? I mean, yeah, I mean corners are set pieces, but poor. And that's another thing he's got to fix as well. Not just the poorness of the set pieces, but just don't let Gruev take them. If you're going to play this double pivot, what he keeps on doing, which I don't think we need to do, especially in the next game against Cardiff, then you can't have your defensive midfielder taking it when they're not even cash money. You know, they are not guaranteed, you know, in swingers, out swingers. Gruev doesn't have it like that. So just have Aronson take them and keep Gruev in that protective spot in defensive midfield, because we've seen him run back and it's not a pretty sight, I'm afraid. Gruev is great at intercepting and tackling when it's like a standing kind of zone or if a player's within his parameter. But when he's on the chase, it's a tough day for Elia. I'm not gonna lie. Um, yeah, Michael's here saying I'd rather lose Farke than Pascal, Ampadu, Joseph, Nonto, Largi, How, etc. That's what happens if we don't go up. Michael's on the money there. And listen, let's go into something that again something from last season that I wanted to speak about, because you guys brought it up in the comments yesterday, and I was like, yeah, I want to speak about that tomorrow. And here we are. Yeah, Gavin, this is it for me. We only need Ampadu in the defensive midfield role, you know, like Calvin Phillips invented it, you Gavin. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. I've maintained that. In this division, it is overkill to play defensive mids. And we even saw yesterday, we played both of them and we just got split open anyway. So why not go with an industrious midfielder like Ruffwell or a more attacking one like Tanaka and see how we go from there? Because those two still get stuck in. It's just that they're not totally defensive minded like Gruev. We do need to mix that up. But let's go on to this. Why did Largy not play there? And let me just say another piece of bail for Danny Farke. He didn't get the 10 that he obviously desired from both him and Angus Kinnear's comments, but you've still got the tools to get this job done. I'm afraid that's still no excuse for me. It's almost like you've made a bed and there's one board missing from the bottom. It may sink once in a while, but you can do something to fix it. At the time, yeah. Tanaka Schmidt must start against Cardiff. Well, look, let's go on to the subs yesterday, because people were asking what was that formation we played towards the end. I could not tell you. And that's something that we suffered from last year, where it was we're losing the game and it's kitchen sink. It's like throw on nearly every attacker but Joe Gelhardt. By the way, Gelhardt, yet again, unused. I do believe with every fiber in my being, if we did get in another 10 during the window, he would be out of here, because he just doesn't use him. There's no point Joe Gelhardt being here. And we're up against like a deep block, and you need a shooter, someone that's a little bit of a bulldozer in there. Maybe he could have done something. But one of the substitutes I want to look at first, Paul, you got it. Tanaka, 4 minutes. Why? What are we hoping Tanaka does in 4 minutes, people? I don't know. I don't know what he was trying to do there. Obviously, if Tanaka comes on and scores or creates something, then he's a genius. But we saw this last season with so many players, and I include Bamford in there, where they're getting minimal minutes to try and make an impression or make an impact, and we're expecting something. But then he will come out and say, in regards to Mateo Joseph last season, he's played 15 games and got 1 goal. Not saying, though, that he's played 4 or 5 minutes a game. We've seen this before. Ramazani, 78 minutes. How? And then the one of them that is Sam Byram coming on instead of Schmidt. Now, listen, I don't know about Schmidt, but I do know he's an attacking fullback, and we needed a goal. And Sam Byram, with him he's more defensively solid, but when he did get the ball, he passed it back to Melier in added time. People, he wasn't looking forward; he was looking at his goalkeeper to get the move going. It's a negative substitution when you're trying to chase for a goal. Yeah, Jack. Daniel thinks his players need to learn the system like his Pep. It isn't that complicated, Daniel. Well, again, let's go back to Angus Kinnear's interview. The recruitment this summer was for players that can help you now, not in 6 months. Those are the words of Angus Kinnear. So if those are the words of him, that's in consultation, that's in partnership with Daniel Farke. So I don't want to hear that Schmidt, Tanaka, Ramazani, or whoever else. Ramazani, by the way, who's netted against Real Madrid and turned one of my favorite centre backs, Rudiger, into a pumpkin. But cool. I don't want to hear that it's taken them time to settle. You knew the mandate. That was the mandate you had in the summer. It's experienced players. It's players that can help you now. That should be it. We don't want to hear it's going to take a month, 2 months. That's from the club as well. Gavin saying Rothwell is just a subby signing. Yeah, I mean, look, Gavin, I said it when he was signed, didn't I? I said that he's not going to be a starter at this football club. He may go on a run where if he impresses that he gets a run of games, but he is going to be the substitute midfielder. I said it at the time, people. I wasn't joking with that. It was just there's no commitment. The only commitment that we got is that Rothwell wanted to come to Leeds United. Bournemouth didn't care where he ended up. He could have been at Plymouth, could have been at Bristol Rovers in another league. They didn't care. They just wanted his wages off the books because they've got no use for him. We're using him as a if Gruev is out, if Tanaka may be out. Rothwell isn't going to get the game time that he probably deserves in this team. I don't think so. But look, there's plenty of games to go, people. Plenty of games to go. JR, Byram is more backwards and sideways than heat map Adam. Yeah, you're probably right. But that's what I mean. If you're bringing on Byram, I would think that you're trying to protect a lead, but we're trying to get a goal here, and Schmidt is just there chilling on the bench. And also with Ramazani, that's the other thing that's confusing. Ramazani has been ready. He's been learning the systems over the international break. He's been, in training, and then he gets 12 minutes, barring the added time, which probably takes up to 20. Yeah, it's just things have just got to improve with that, because we're seeing the same things over and over with the subs as well as with the style of play. I know, Matt. I know. I don't mean to mention Plymouth. I know. I'm going to find another team in the championship. I'm pick on them instead. Gavin saying our recruitment team is mediocre. Bogle, Rothwell. By the way, onto Bogle. And this is another thing that kind of worries me. Now, again, shooting back Daniel Bale, what's said in the public isn't always said behind closed doors. We know that we get a watered down version of what managers say to players behind the scenes, and that's the way it should always be. But you still got to have a bit of a good public facing persona for me. You've still got to put out something to the public where they can go, okay, all right, I can see what he's saying there. Hopefully, we improve on that. But Danny Farke said about we should have had a penalty. He's right. Should have scored twice. None to him. Joseph misses. He's correct. Solomon took the wrong option, which led to Bogle stepping out at a wrong moment for their goal. But he also said in this, which Popey hasn't put in here, is that Melier could do nothing about it. Guys, if you're not holding your goalkeeper accountable for just trying to make a save, that's not good for me. It almost feels like favoritism, and also saying Bogle stepping out for the wrong moment, that's fine. But if we're going by systems, Daniel and everyone else, why was Bogle at the left back spot? Why wasn't Junior Firpo there where he should have been? You know what I mean? This isn't taking any blame away from Bogle. He should have defended better. Gurev should have kept on running. There's a few things we should have done better in the lead up to that goal. But I just feel putting it on the new signing and saying that Melier could do nothing about it, you're just making it clear, or you're trying to put out to the fans that Melier is still this top goalkeeper, and God, he could absolutely do nothing with that shot. I disagree. I think I know a much better goalkeeper just saves that. I think, or at least has an attempt to save it. There was no attempt. I think just rustled in the back of the net. And I do worry with Daniel Farke when it comes to some of his favorites at the football club. I do. I really do. Yeah, Nick Norton saying here favoritism will be Farke's downfall. I'm worried. It does worry me. No one at this football club should have an outright starting position and be untouchable. Nobody. But it feels like a few players at this football club do get that. And Bogle under Farke, if you're going to protect Melier like that, do it for Bogle too, especially when he wasn't even in his natural position. No, Matt, I didn't anyway. Maybe somebody else did, but I didn't. Malk here saying Groundhog Day to see us this season. Watch last season, same corners, free kicks, no variation, and we hit regular on the break. Malk, yeah. But this is where I'm coming to you people, because this is where people say, give Farke time, give him 10 games, give him till Christmas. But what I will say, and we know Farke loves an excuse, Cardiff City, who have lost 4 of 5 championship matches, they're propping up the championship table right now. I think that their manager, Errol Bulu has gone because he didn't take the post-match game yesterday. And I think he's probably clearing out his box today, and they're going to get someone new. Let me ask you right now, and let me just ask you this in the chat and for the people in the comments after. If we lose against Cardiff next week, new manager bounce or not, what are you saying then? Are you still saying 10 games? Or are you still saying Christmas? What are you saying? And JR, as soon as I read this, JR, I said this. And it's bad. The thing that it's bad that the thing that I thought straight away was Danny Farker's got a ready-made excuse. He's going to say new manager bounce. They've had 4 defeats in 5. They were, wounded animals. They were always going to come out eventually and get a victory. Unlucky it was just against us. We did a lot of things right, etc. I can already hear it, and I don't want to hear it, but I can. This match has got excuse written all over it for Danny Farke. May even bring up our more history against Cardiff away that we're not that good, even though it's got nothing to do with this current team. Ads here saying loss against Cardiff equal the sack. Paul saying no excuses. Cardiff are shocking. If we lose, then it's 4 wins in 16. Then see you. These are facts. Direct here saying we don't have time in the games. If he needs to go, if he loses one of the next 2 games, I got you, man. Annabelle saying I wanted Daniel Farke gone after Wembley. Yeah, I mean, look, and this is the Annabelle. I did say that. I said if you can get someone better, and let me make this clear, because I don't want him gone just for the sake of him going, because that's when you go down a real slippery slope in this division. You have to get someone better or equivalent to him. And regardless of what I think of him tactically, if you just go in getting any old Joe Schmo to replace him, that's a sticky thing to do. But I do feel there are many other managers who could get better out of this team. Now, Gavin at the start was saying no Moyes. I don't get what the thing is against Moyes. And if you're talking about his style of play, it's defensive. It's not very attack minded, but we're seeing that already. If we're being truthful, we're already seeing that at this football club. But Moyes would be probably more effective, and I would have much more confidence with David Moyes in the Premier League. I'll say this until the end. I have zero confidence in Danny Farke in the Premier League. I will always put it out there. I do not think he's a Premier League manager in one bit. Not one bit of him screams to me Premier League manager. He gets out fought tactically here. And if people think I'm being harsh, please watch the Premier League and see how these teams play. And if you think that we're going to get any change out of them under this manager, then cool. But I would think that you need a more tactically astute manager in the Premier League. You do. Oh, Skip. Gasparini is a dream. He ain't coming here, though, man. Matt C saying, I take Moyes, but Gavin is back. Shout out to you, Gavin. Moyes, dreadful football. Just turn up at 4:35 p.m. It's one of those, isn't it, though, Gavin? You know what? They say the same about Jose Mourinho. The football stinks, but it wins stuff. And listen, David Moyes, for all people are saying about him, is a top half finishing Premier League manager. Let's add to the fact as well, he's won a European trophy. Like, if it's not Moyes, what do you want? But I'm saying, no, it's not Moyes or bust for me, people. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I feel like there are other candidates out there that I think you can get. And I think 49ers, and I'm just saying this, let me just say this. If the 49ers are considering a change, if things don't improve in terms of the consistency of results, let me make that clear, because we have only lost one, but you have to factor in the Portsmouth result, you have to factor in that West Brom result, and you have to factor in the Middlesbrough debacle. They need to do it ruthlessly. And a lot of you won't like it. And I know you won't like it, but you have to go get that manager the next day. You need to do the flag post on the Friday or Thursday, whatever it may be. Daniel Farke, thank you for your service. See you later. And then the very next day, Leeds United welcome so-and-so. That is how you have to do it. It's cold, but it's cold business. Football isn't a friendly business. It's cold. And there's too much money. There's too much big business on the line to just be considerate about people's feelings. You know what I mean? Ali, that's how I feel. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to get this team promoted. And that's currently what I'm seeing from Sheffield United. I've watched every single Sheffield United game so far. Watched a fair bit of Burnley too, but I've watched every bit of Sheffield United, and they're just getting on with it. It's just business as usual. Yes, they had that one game where they were 2-0 up and then drew 2-2. But overall, Sheffield United are just getting money, 3 points, and it's on to the next game. No problem. Whereas we're making a meal of some of these games at this point in time. And once again, it's early, but you can't fall away. You can't fall away, not with Sheffield United and Burnley, with the squads that they have. David saying, ban Will Ferrell. When he comes, we always lose, refund him. Paul here saying, no, KG. Hi, KG. I can understand everyone concerned, but no one's better out there at this moment. That's not true, Paul. And that's this. It's a weird thing at this football club. And listen, it happens in other fan bases as well, where they think that whatever you've got, there's nothing better out there. You know, there's no better number 9. There's no better manager. There are other managers out there. Guys, we've just seen Scott Parker, handle Daniel Farke. We saw Russell Martin last year 3 times hand Daniel Farke is behind to him. It's not a hard task, but what I don't want is going down the road. I'm being very extreme here of going for a Lee Johnson, or these kind of managers. I'm not saying we would, but that's where I don't want to go. I don't want to go to that spectrum of management. I still feel with the pull of this football club, I don't know if we could attract a Moyes. So, I'm not just going to talk about him, but I still feel with the pull of this football club, with the players that we have in this squad, we can attract a good manager to come here and get this team up and play a different way, play with more variation, play without a double pivot against Bristol City away. There you go, Plymouth. I gave you a break. You know what I mean? I do think that there is someone out there that's got the tools to do what we need to do to get the top 2. And I still believe in this team, by the way. If people think this is a negative stream, fine. I still think this team has got the capabilities top 2, which is why these results aren't satisfying me. Kieran here saying too much leeway given to nice guys. It's the Leeds disease, always has been, big time, Kieran. More so in the past 10 years. And definitely since Bielsa came in, it seemed to have softened a lot of the fan base than just to accepting average Joes being at the football club and just being nice people. Nah, man, you need killers, you need tactics, you need, quality in here. Whether you like them or not, you're not going home with them people, you're not sleeping with them. They're here to get the football club and up and be successful. That's all you should want. Warnock will turn up at Cardiff again. Let me just see this. Oh, Arinda in the house with a super chat. Thank you, Arinda. Great to catch you live, big man. I'm on the verge of being Farke out if we don't win the next 3 games. I want him gone. No patterns of play, clueless. Yeah, so Arinda there himself is saying 8 games then. But I do wonder because I saw, and I'm only going by my comments, people, so this isn't me. There's a lot of Farke out comments after yesterday's game. So imagine if Cardiff beat us 2-0 or something. Doesn't bear thinking about, and it will be a tough match reaction for me, not going to lie. But imagine if they beat us 2-0. What's the temperature going to be like then? Jim, we have the parts for a Ferrari in this league, but Farke wants to build a Volvo. That's tremendous. Let's have a look here. There was a comment here. Okay, Dave here. We need someone who can manage the club, the team, and the fans' expectations. Yeah, and Farke, I mean, he said this many times himself. He didn't realize that until he came in the door. He spoke about it a lot of times last year with the fans' passion, and that's when he went on that little thing about doubters and moaners versus the believers, which is never a good thing to try and divide the fan base, in my opinion. And the people with doubts and that were moaning were, in essence, right, because we didn't get the job done. So, that was an own goal for him. But yeah, and that's what it's all about when it comes to the players too. And I will put it on the players as well. They have to get the expectations. Like you can't crumble at Ellen Road when you're losing, because you will just hide. And we've seen that through history. But I do think Farke has the capabilities to handle it. I don't think that's the problem. It's just his in-game management. It's his inability to see that at 50 minutes, 55 minutes, the double pivot isn't doing what it needs to do. Rothwell, Tanaka, come. Ramazani, come on. We need to change this game. Burnley don't want the ball. They're not interested in it. We're all over them, but we're not penetrating them. Come here, I need to make changes. Instead, it just feels like it's the robotic changes he had pre-planned before the game, no matter what the score is. And he's saying, okay, now we're going to bring you on. Now we're going to bring you on. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense, but look, Direct saying bit unfair on the Volvo. That's tremendous. Look, I don't want this to be one way, and I don't want this to be like a Farke out stream. I'm not there yet, but if the 49ers got someone better tomorrow, I wouldn't be sad. One of those. I'm not there yet, but I just want him to improve. I don't want to change manager at this point. It just be upheaval. Then we're going to have even more excuses. It's a new manager, a new system that the players got to get used to. We're excuse XC. We love excuses at this football club. I want him just to get it right, man. Please, Farke, do something different in training. Set pieces, work on the offside runs with the defensive line and the attacking line. Work with one pivot in there. Use a more complete central midfielder for the games that we do not need a double. Change it up when necessary, please. Don here saying we are moaning because we're so passionate about Leeds. We can all see that we should be doing better. Don, that's what it is, man. I expect better. And I said it on Connor's channel the other day. If we had a team that was full of Norrises, Brownie, Greens, and all these, bums that we had at the time, I wouldn't expect top 2. I'm a realistic guy. I would say we'd be lucky to survive a relegation. But I can see what we've got in comparison to the rest of the league, in addition with Sheffield United and Burnley, and say we should be doing what they're doing in terms of just making games a routine win, moving on to the next, instead of huffing and puffing and trying to break down 2 blocks that we're not breaking down. Malk saying here, I confess I love Daniel, but I love our club more. And I like that, Malk. And I've got no problems with people that like Daniel Farke. On the surface, he seems like a nice guy, but that's not good enough if he's not getting the results that are required for top 2. And top 2 requires that you get a run of wins in a row. You have to get that run together to pull yourself away from the rest of the league, and we're not doing it at this time. Matt, see, here we go. Not all on Farke though. Matteo and Nonto both miss sitters. That's not on Farke, and that is correct, Matt. But what I will say in that, it goes back to the tactical ways of playing, because apart from a second half shot from Matteo Joseph in the second half where Trafford saved it, He should have been having more opportunities to atone for that error. And that's where it comes in, Matt. That's where I go with this. You're absolutely correct. Nanto should be tucking that away from that lovely Aronson pass. Mateo Joseph should be doing better, and he knows it as well. People, let me just tell you that he knows he should be doing better. So don't worry about that. He will come back stronger. But the point is, Matt and everyone else, there should have been more big chances for players to atone for their misses, and they didn't come. And that is a tactical thing down to the manager. Um, Yeah, Ali saying Joseph takes that chance and it's a completely different game, but he didn't, and two big chances isn't good enough. Exactly. Listen, goals change games. We all know that, but there should have been more chances. No, I'm not going to mention it because then it brings up. But yeah, we just need to create more big chances. Ali's correct there. Sigh. Nothing team with a wrong of Michael Brown's. I mean, the best thing that I can remember Michael Brown doing was that big scissor tackle on someone's hip in the Sheffield Wednesday away game. If you remember that one, yeah, our team was bad then, man. Oh, I didn't expect nothing from that team. Uh, but look, I, we're all looking for answers, but Daniel Farke's he's got to find them. As he always likes to say, he needs to find solutions. Find solutions this week. We've got a game that for me, I don't care what Cardiff are going through. I don't care what manager comes in. Could be Sir Alex for all I care. They've lost 4 of 5 league games, people. The bottom of the league. That should be an away win. Are we going to be going to Cardiff saying we get a point? That's a good point. Absolutely not. That's a win in my book. So Danny Farker's got to get this team working. It's going to be another week together in training. Get used more to the system. Solomon, stay on side. Nanto, stay on side. This is for Danny Farker to get through, work through, and make sure that we collect 3 points at Cardiff and compound their misery. Keep them miserable. Don't be there. Don't give them a launching pad via Leeds United. Don't do it. So Daniel, please get it right. Please. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. And just before we leave, let's just end. I usually try and end with a positive note, but I'm gonna end it here just so you get the temperature of what we're up against in this division. You know what I mean? I want you to keep this in your head. Rival players coming to Ellen Road. I'm saying putting the L in Ellen Road. I want you to hold that. And whether it's Jeremy Sarmiento or his PR team, whoever it is, because I know some footballers don't manage their own social media, they still put that out there. They think it was okay. So Leeds United, fans, club, get back on the horse, get back on the winning run so we can shut everybody up and not be the butt of the joke come the end of the season. Ali saying, yeah, I'm going to be off now. People going to get ready for that North London. I love that game. Who you backing? I would like Tottenham to win just so I can, watch the Arsenal meltdown. You know what I mean? But I think Big Ange, if he's going to play that high line, and I don't know if Sterling's going to start today or, Saka's going to be playing anyway. I know that Arsenal got a couple of injuries. They might get ripped open. You know what I mean? They did it last year with that big old high line that Ange plays. But I'm just looking for a good game, Ali. I'm gonna sit on the fence 2-2. How about that? 2-2. But yeah, people. Yeah, Mick. Oh, that's something else I want to address before we go, people, because I got this comment this morning. He's left in disrespectful manner, but this guy is a regular to the channel, so I give him a cut. I give him a pass. I said, listen, I like you, but if you talk like that again, I can't have it. You know what I mean? But he did make the point, and it's something that I said as well in the summer. But let's talk about it. Mick here just saying, feels like we could fall short again. I wanted a competent striker up front. No offense, Joseph, who is still learning. Mick, and that's fine. But what I've said from the start is the reason why I didn't ask for a striker in the summer, or that was never on my list, is because we still have Bamford. And you are not going to have Joseph, who himself would have been assured more game time after last season's debacle. You're not going to have Bamford on the books. You're not going to have Peru, who Danny Farker still classes as a striker, on the books and still get another one in. It's just not realistic. So once again, and this is why I mark the transfer windows the way I do, is that because the club didn't make any effort to move out Bamford, any at all, whether you want to mutually terminate his contract, come to an agreement, send him out on loan somewhere, whatever it may be, he's still seen as a key striker here. So Mick and everyone else, we were never going to get another striker. If we had moved out Bamford, I'm all in, because I still, even though I believe in Joseph, we need another striker to compete with him. That doesn't. I believe in Joseph, but you don't get away with just being the one striker. You need someone to be competent competition. Mick is right, but the club did not see fit to move Bamford or even try. And I've always said with Bamford, if he decides that he's comfortable not going, accept it. I'm cool with it. That's his prerogative, no issue. But the fact you're not trying to make moves to get in a competent striker who's more competent, more available, less profligate, that's on the club. So there's nothing that we, you, Mick, you fans can do about it. That was a club decision, and I'll just leave it there. But Michael here, Joseph is being fast tracked by Spain. We don't supply him with much, and that's the other point in regards to Joseph. Look, he is going to miss some. He is. He's not going to score every goal, every shot he takes. Otherwise, he'll be going with Haaland at Man City. You know, one of those. But he is being looked at by Spain's national manager to be the next striker at the World Cup. I need you to deep how big that is. Don't just think about it from the little lens of Leeds United here. Think about that for Spain. They're looking at Mateo Joseph possibly being their number 9 in a couple years' time. That's how much he's rated, but he needs a better supply line. Should have scored that opportunity big time, but you need to supply him with more so you can go, well, he missed that one, but look how he tucked away that one. But he didn't get that chance by one shot in the second half, people. So there are pluses and minuses with that one. And I agree, Scott. He's not raw, but he is going to be, still learning his trade, and trying to get better with each game, which he will as long as he plays. But yeah, we could have done with competition, but it is what it is, people. It is what it is. But that will be the show today. I thought I was going to do a quick 20, but you guys have been brilliant in the chat. Must say, lots of real good points being made today. That will be the show today. Please like the video before you go, people. Subscribe to the channel. Drop your comments below on anything discussed today. And I'll see you in the next one, people. Peace out.